This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. Today, we're diving into something really interesting, a quiet revolution that's unfolding in Nepal. We're going to look past the usual headlines to uncover a powerful blueprint for grassroots innovation, one that's taking on some of the country's toughest, most deep-rooted problems. So, let's get into it. So, when you picture Nepal, this is probably what you see, right? Majestic mountains, ancient temples, it's breathtaking. But, behind that stunning facade, there's a much tougher reality. For millions of people, life is a daily struggle. We're talking about a country where almost a third of the population is below the poverty line. And get this, a quarter of all families have someone living and working abroad just to make ends meet. Okay, so this kind of challenging environment, you've got political instability, not a lot of big investment coming in, it's created what you might call an innovation vacuum. It's basically a space where the typical top-down solutions, the ones you'd expect from the government or big corporations, they just don't show up. But here's where it gets fascinating. What fills that vacuum? Well, when the traditional institutions can't deliver, a whole new generation of local social entrepreneurs is stepping up. And listen, they're not just sitting around waiting for foreign aid. Nope, they are building real, sustainable business models from scratch to solve the problems they see every day in their own communities. All right, let's dive into our first case study. We're talking about water. I mean, it's the most basic human need there is, right? But for so many people in Nepal, just getting clean water is a daily crisis. Think about this. A full quarter of the entire population doesn't have access to safe drinking water. And this isn't just a health problem, it's a massive social problem. The burden of finding and collecting that water, it falls almost entirely on women and girls. We're talking hours, every single day, spent on just this one task. So what's the solution these entrepreneurs came up with? Well, it's actually beautifully simple. Companies like Pawnee and SmartPani are setting up rainwater harvesting systems. It's pretty straightforward. Water is collected, it runs through simple filters made of sand and gravel, and then it's stored. And the really brilliant part? The whole thing works on gravity alone. No electricity needed. That makes it perfect for pretty much anywhere, from remote villages to city neighborhoods. But listen, the technology itself, as clever as it is, isn't the real game changer here. The true innovation is the business model. You see, this is totally different from the old aid projects, where someone would just install a water pump and then disappear. These companies offer a complete commercial service. They sell the system, they install it, and, this is key, they provide ongoing maintenance. That's how they build long-term trust and make sure the solution actually lasts. And the results? They are absolutely staggering. Get this, in just 3 years, one company, Pawnee, brought clean water to 300,000 people. Let me be clear, this isn't some small pilot project. This is a proven model that's having a massive impact right now. And that just shows you the incredible ripple effect, doesn't it? Providing water is about so much more than just quenching thirst. It gives women their time back so they can earn an income. It means girls can stay in school instead of spending their days hauling water. It's a single solution that unlocks human potential on an enormous scale. Okay, so this pattern of local innovation, it's not just happening with water. We see the exact same thing in education, where Nepal's public school system is frankly facing its own crisis. In Nepal, the big 10th grade national exam is called the Iron Gate. And for most kids in public schools, that's exactly what it is, a gate that's locked shut. Just look at this gap. Private school students, they have an 89% pass rate. Public school students, just 33%. And remember, public schools are where 80% of the country's kids are being taught. This isn't just a small problem, it's a systemic failure. So, stepping right into this gap is an organization called Teach for Nepal. And their model is really powerful. What they do is recruit some of the country's top university graduates for a 2-year paid fellowship. Then they place these bright young people as teachers in the most underserved rural schools. They're bringing modern, hands-on learning into classrooms that have been stuck in old-school rote memorization for decades. But again, like with the water projects, improving test scores is only part of the story. The program's biggest, most lasting impact is that it's creating a whole new generation of leaders. Think about it. After 2 years on the front lines of education, these fellows have a deep, first-hand understanding of Nepal's biggest challenges. They then go on to careers in government, in business, and other social ventures, and they form this incredible alumni network that's committed to changing the system from the inside out.
All right, for our third and final case study, we're turning to a problem that's both an environmental nightmare and a really deep-seated social issue: waste.
The Kathmandu Valley is literally drowning in garbage. We're talking 1,200 tons of it every single day. And the crazy part is, most of it, about 70%, is recyclable. But there's no formal system to handle it. So that work falls to informal waste collectors, folks from marginalized communities who do this essential job, but face, a huge amount of social stigma for it. And the solution here is, once again, a brilliant mix of technology and social understanding. It's a digital platform called Khaleesi. You can think of it as an Uber for waste. Now, it doesn't try to get rid of the informal collectors who are already doing the work. Instead, it organizes and empowers them. It uses an app to connect them directly with homes and businesses that have recyclables to sell. And the economic impact, it's immediate and it's significant. By simply making the whole system more efficient, collectors who use the platform have seen their incomes jump by about 35%. That's huge. It can transform a really precarious job into a much more stable way to make a living. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. The innovation isn't just the app. It's what you could call social engineering. The founder didn't just write some code. By rebranding the collectors as Khaleesi friends and bringing a level of professionalism to their work, the platform is fundamentally changing how people see them. It's restoring dignity to an entire group of people. So, let's step back for a second. We've looked at water, education, and waste. On the surface, they seem like totally separate issues, right? But if you look closer, you start to see a clear blueprint, a common pattern of success emerging from all of them. And this is it. In every single case, the real innovative breakthrough wasn't some fancy new piece of technology. It was a new model. With water, it was a sustainable service model. With education, it was a model for investing in human capital. And with waste, it was a platform model that empowered an existing workforce. And in each case, the social and economic impact has been just profound. Now, despite all this success, it's not all easy. Scaling up these solutions is a huge challenge. For one, these social enterprises often operate in a legal gray area. They also have a really hard time finding investors, because they're not a pure nonprofit, but they're not a pure for-profit either. And on top of all that, they're constantly fighting to change old habits and public mindsets. And that really brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. The lesson from Nepal is that real, game-changing innovation, especially in developing countries, is rarely about the shiniest new technology. It's about creating new business models. And maybe, even more powerfully, it's about building new social relationships. So this leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. This quiet revolution in Nepal points to a bigger idea, maybe even a universal one. The answers to some of our biggest, most complicated problems, maybe they don't need to be invented in a lab somewhere and imported. What if the solutions are already there, right inside our own communities, just waiting for the right model, the right spark, to unlock them?